Welcome back to PM with the Trigger. Rich Bontrager back once again to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, and help you elevate you and your brand authority. And as always, the chat box is open. We'd love to hear from you as we have our daily conversation here. What's your thoughts? What's your comments? You like, you dislike? What's challenging? What's not challenging? Drop in the chat and join our conversation here today as we are going to get into a really interesting one because no matter if you're a seasoned veteran of media interviews, whether you're new to being interviewed on TV, streaming content, podcasts, audio, whatever, interviews are not always easy. And sometimes we get caught off guard. And interviews don't go the way you want. Interviews don't go the way you predict it, you plan it. It could be a number of things. There could be technical problems going on. How do you keep composure when that's going on? How do you keep composure when the host really didn't do their research and doesn't even know who you are? I've got a great story about that. What do you do when they steer this conversation, the interview, somewhere you don't want it to go? Are you going to lose composure? Are you going to get frustrated? Are you going to rip the mic off and walk off? It's been done. I don't recommend it. What do you do to keep your composure when you're in the middle of an interview? We're going to get into that today. Feel free to ask your questions and chime on in, but it really is important. Whether you're experienced at this or not, keeping control of yourself, maintaining composure can be mission critical to you, your brand, to your reputation, just to everything you're all about. You need to rise above the situation and show that you can handle it like a professional. And there are insider tricks that help you do that. Number one is preparation. You do have to prepare for your interviews. I know a lot of people say, hey, I'm just going to get up there and wing it, Trigger. I know my material. I know what's going on. Okay, you may know your material, but never assume that they know your material or that they know you. You need to prepare before the show, and I would highly recommend a couple of little things. Research the host. Research the host. Let me say that again. Research the host. The reason you want to research the host is they have their own style. They have their own communication language. They have their own personality. They have things that they regularly do, and you need to be aware of what they do. Are they a laid-back, casual conversation interview, much like I am sometimes? Are they more of the, we're going to light it up and barbecue, and we're going to turn the intensity up? You need to know what type of personality they kind of have. Do they ask open-ended questions? Do they ask questions that they know intentionally they're going to tangle you up and trip you up and get you into a bad corner? Also, learn what their typical topics are like. What do they cover? What are they well versed in? Because if you don't match up well and know where they're going to land on their expertise, you could either be speaking way over their head, way down to their audience. You need to learn what their audience is, who they are, and how to best prepare. You need to prepare and check them out as much as they need to prepare and check you out. You need to send your bio, your headshot. You need to send your 5 standard questions. You need to do all of those things to help them prepare to take on you, but you need to prepare to work with them. Prepare your talking points. What are you going to cover during that interview? How long is the interview going to be? What are your anecdotes? What are your stories you're going to tell? Why do you want to tell those stories? Make sure everything matters and links back together. And especially if you're going to be using stats and data, make sure the data is factual, short and quick, and get to a story about the data. Don't hang on the data and stats. Make your interviews compelling and powerful. Number 2 on this is going to help you maintain composure. It's going to be your active listening. You need to active listening. I coach this one a lot when I work with podcasters, talk show hosts. When people are running a show, active listening is one of the number 1 skills to be a great host and interviewer. You need to listen and watch fully because there's things going on with body language, with verbal, with everything that you need to learn more about to better connect with your guest, your audience, and have this great little interview discussion go on. But you need to be active listening as a guest. If you're going to be interviewed on a show, you need to be listening to what's going on. Because if you don't listen well, you may become defensive. And when you get defensive, when you lose composure on camera, the camera magnifies everything. If you're flustered, your face will turn colors, turn red. You'll start doing a nervous tick and doing something you always do when you're frustrated, rubbing your hands, rubbing your ear, whatever it is, you'll do something that will be repetitive and disrupt the very things that you want to do and be a communicator and be the expert on. So you need to listen for the things and don't overly focus on them. Now, don't totally ignore them either. I'm going to get to that in a second, but active listening allows you to go, okay, I heard it. I'm not going to land on that one. That's a bomb that's going to go off, and I'm not going to go there. I'm going to be really cool. Take a little breath. Take a pause. Just give a smile for a minute in the interview as you reset yourself so you don't fall in the trap and lose composure on camera. Active listening. If you pay close attention to the words, the tone that the host is speaking, the attitude that the host is bringing, and you can tell pretty quickly if they're going to be aggressive, if they set you up for a bad interview, you can tell pretty quickly this is not going to go well. Show interest in what they're asking. And my next tip is going to help you with the active listening part. But you do need to watch what they're doing, how they're doing it. Are they not even aware that they're ticking you off? Are they not aware they've crossed the line and asked a question that should not have been asked on that particular interview? There are ways to keep your cool. Now, I've seen many people at this point walk off, unplug, and leave the stage because active listening taught them and showed them these people are really jerks. They're very disrespectful, and it was done on purpose. If you get that vibe, find a way to slow down the interview, regain control. And the number one way to do that is with bridging and with redirection. Let me explain this for you, man. These are important skills you need to have if you're in a very bad interview. It's going to help you be graceful on stage. And what you're doing is you're literally taking a bad situation and turning it back to be better. One comment, one suggestion, one statement in a line. Bridging techniques helps you turn the conversation around. One of the best words you could ever use is you don't want to talk negative of your host. You don't want to have a major disagreement. It's okay sometimes to disagree, counter agree. But again, that goes back to preparation. Is it going to be a fun-loving disagreement, or is it going to be one, though, we're going to buck heads here? The best word you can use, but. You can start your sentence off with, that's important. That's a great perspective on that, Ted. But let me go a little bit deeper in this. And as you say the word but, you are turning the corner to reframe the interview in the way that you want the interview to go. You should have your own narrative of what you want from your interview. You should have your own stories, the own things that you want to have your outcomes to be. That's where practicing sound bites come in. Active listening helps you know if this is getting off course. Point number 2, active listening. A great soundbite dropped at the right time can redirect and reframe everything. And it sometimes may make the host look like a goofball. There's a time and place for that, but not go too far with it. There's a time and place to let them know, hey, I got you what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do here, dude. But I got something good for you to think about by a great soundbite. These are techniques that will help you and really redirect the conversation. Be prepared for those talking points. They will try to get you off talking points. They will try to just go off script sometimes. Sometimes it is planned, like I said, but often it's just they're not that skilled. They're not ready to do what they need to do at this level of the game. Help them out by being a fantastic, super guest and gain control of this. But do not get defensive. Do not show that you have lost your cool. You can do that afterwards. You can do that afterwards, back in the green room, off camera. You say, by the way, that was not cool. What you did here, I told you my family was off. You brought up family matters. You brought up confidential things that you weren't supposed to bring up, and you saw me ignore and redirect. That's bad. Don't invite me back. Thank you very much. Also, you want to leverage your interviews to your full advantage. You want to showcase them that you're a great guest and you love being on good shows. If you have a bad interview, request to the host afterwards off camera, I prefer you not use the interview. And if you do use the interview, I will not be helping support it, push it out, and doing like that because it's not a benefit to me, my brand, and my message. There are ways to do that off camera with composure to really help yourself stand out from the crowd. Again, 3 very simple things. Preparation, number 1, always prepare. Don't assume they're going to fully prepare. You've got to be prepared because you want to shine on camera, shine on stage, elevate you and your brand authority. So you must prepare. And there's things your staff can do, but there's things you must personally do. Be ready to go. Learn how to be an active listener. Watch for body language cues. Watch for eye contact. Watch what they're doing and saying at the same time and learn how to bridge that gap together. Learn how to redirect. Again, a well-placed butt can do powerful things when you're in a very bad interview. Hey, if you want to learn more about these things, drop me an email, rich@richbontrager.net. I'd love to learn more about you, what you're doing, and better help you conquer the stage, conquer the interviews, and show up because we're helping you build your media brand empires. We're helping you learn how to leverage media every day at Rock the Stage Media. And by the way, if you haven't visited our website for a while, you need to drop on by and check out the redesigned, improved website. People have been asking questions. I want a clearer understanding of what you do, how you help us. What are the unique areas that you work with media training, Trigger? We're listening. We're responding. And we're making changes to the website to make it even more clear to what we do and how we can help you build that media empire and leverage media better for you. So drop on by, hit the QR code, scan that, and check out what's happening at Rock the Stage Media more and more. Hey, as we wind down today, just remember this. Maintaining composure is a skill that can set you apart and give you credibility as an effective communicator. Think about that. People can tell when an interview goes bad. They can tell when it's not quite right. But if you can maintain composure, others will stop and say, you know what? You've got this under control. They really are a notch above other people. Remember, composure isn't just about managing your words. It's about managing your presence. It is your body language. It is your facial cues. It is the tics that you have. It's a full experience that you want to give people a great experience when you're being interviewed. And that's going to do it for today on the Trigger. Rich Bontrager will be back again tomorrow, 2 p.m. with the Trigger, helping you shine on camera, shine on stage to help you elevate you and your brand authority. We'll see you then at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.